The Knock 'em Dead Comedy Radio Show also brought to you by Two Eagles Auto Body. For more than 25 years, Two Eagles Auto Body has been the leader in auto body repairs and customer satisfaction on Long Island. Two Eagles Auto Body handles every type of auto repair, from custom applications and restorations to repairs involving insurance claims. So call Two Eagles Auto Body and ask for John Rossi at 516-328-2527. Hi, everybody. Don't mind us. We sit here for like an hour before we go on. I'm setting up, and I feel bad because a lot of times we're talking, but I'm like looking elsewhere, but I'm listening. But
No, I just need to talk. I don't care if anybody...
Just put the mic on. It's not even on. Just talk. I got to tell you, though, some of my favorite times in here is like before we go on the air.
Well, that one was like we were like right up against it. I'm like watching the video that's playing on the screen, and I'm like, I'm gonna get out what I need to get out. Right. And then Tony was like, and I was like, what? So anyway,
we're gonna get a picnic basket, Andy.
Okay, Tony. You're waiting for my boo-boo, man.
I know. I didn't know you had the boo-boo.
Yeah, I've been doing boo-boo and yeah. Hey, boo-boo.
Dude,
let's go fuck these chicks.
I was going to
Okay,
say.
Yogi, but I'm not wearing any condoms anymore. Yeah.
They're rolling your ass, Yogi.
I don't feel it.
Everybody picks on Bert and Ernie, but nobody ever says anything about Yogi and I already lost it. What's his name?
Boo Boo.
Boo Boo.
But Boo Boo is so small, you're afraid that Yogi might crush him.
Well,
I think
right.
that's why it doesn't get talked about.
But that's a joke that Yogi's a pedophile. This little boy, Boo Boo.
I don't know if that's a joke.
Well, true. True. Hi, everybody.
Oh, shit, we started.
The Knock 'em Dead Comedy Show is here. Thanks for joining us here on Gov's Comedy Club Podcast, the Twitch channel. Please tell everybody you know about all the great shows here at Gov's Comedy Club Podcast, whether it's Twitch or YouTube.
I never know which camera.
It's this one.
Okay, with Riccadonna, it was that one?
With Riccadonna, it was that one.
Okay,
we
good,
zoomed.
because I must have looked like I was like blind or something.
That's what I used to do. I always just look at the camera.
Well, that's why I kept on being like,
See,
and then finally I was like, oh, it's got to be that one.
well, right. So you see this one. It's close up of us.
Well, but see, if I look at that,
Yeah.
and then try, but like I can't go fast enough
Right.
to like see which one it was.
If I do this and then look at the camera to see where it is.
But then I don't want to interfere
Right.
with the interview and be like,
See, yeah. So that one, that other camera, because you know what? I'll show you. The other camera,
camera
you
one,
see,
camera two.
right. And I did it that way because now over there I left that space open so that the window with Riccadonna's face in it would be showing, and there's us. But now there is nobody else, so it's just us. So now it's close up.
Nice.
Right. So there you go.
Sorry.
There's nothing to be sorry about.
Usually I ask that sort of thing too, though. I was like, which camera? But I didn't do that, so it was like the first half of the thing was me.
Just going like this. And then Mark's like, wow, he's on coke. He's so paranoid. He's looking all over the place. Mark Riccadonna, comedian, great comedian, and one of the hosts of Drinks, Jokes, and Storytelling, which you can see here on Gov's Comedy Club Podcast. We just recorded an interview with him, and it was hilarious, of course.
Dude, he's so funny, and he had a guy with him,
Jim Bryan.
who's coming with, who's is going to be on the show, and he was hilarious too.
Yeah. So we just finished with them. We'll be showing, I don't know, what do you think, 11:30 we'll put that on?
Yeah, whenever you want. Boss.
Yeah, it doesn't.
Whatever you want, Yogi.
You can go see them at McGuire's this weekend, tonight and tomorrow. DC Benny is showing up there tonight. If you don't know who that is, well, you should. DC Benny is one of the best. Here
Kill
in Levittown.
yourself.
Yes, that's right. Right now, Vic DiBertetto is here over the weekend. Jay Black is playing McGuire's. Megan Hanley is in the Giggle Room. She's one of my personal favorites. Rob White, Laura Patton, Mike Tanzi, Billy Geyer. Marcy Green on Sunday. Tom Galati is on that show. Joe Cavella, Dan LaRocco, Luke Piccioni. I always say his name. Piccioni. Piccioni. I think I
Who's
have
the Italian here?
I think it's spelled wrong. That's why I'm all confused.
Oh God,
It's spelled Picciani.
Picciani.
Picciani. Yeah, it's spelled Picciani here, so it's wrong. Bridget Kavanaugh, the Long Island Laugh-Off continues this weekend. Lots of great stuff. Go to govs.com and make some reservations. Some great comedy shows. Just like June 22nd, you got The Broken Mic with Brandon Lackaruba and Carla Okerson and Carrie Kravitz and Neil Rubenstein. June 16th is the Mike Keegan and Friends, which are with our buddy Jeff Bosey. And speaking of Bosey, wait till you see the video he made for Don.
I cannot wait to see Jeff Bosey's. I got to talk to him yesterday or the other day.
Yeah.
So I was able to tighten up my Jeff Bosey.
And I'm sure Jeff Bosey tightened up for you.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah. And, of course, don't forget as well the Treading Water live show with Hugh and Travis. That's happening in the Giggle Room sometime in July. So lots of great stuff going on. And look for your favorite murder mystery troupe coming to the brokerage.
Ooh.
It's coming. It's coming. Announcements
is.
coming soon. That's
Now
right.
I am.
Yeah, I was going to say, yeah, with that happening, I definitely am. And then even more as well. The show on Apple TV with Tom Holland called The Crowded Room. That series has started on Apple TV. Be on the lookout for a familiar face. And I'm saying that, and who knows? I haven't seen it, so I don't know. They may have cut me right out for all I know.
You'll have
but
to remind me because
Yeah,
I wasn't
I
actually paying attention. So I don't know actually what you're talking about right now.
Never mind.
Never mind.
And of course, there's still time. If anybody would like to get in on, we started again this week giving out free passes to Governor's comedy shows. All you had to do is share the link to any of our shows, send us a screenshot to prove that you did that, and at this point, nobody's sent me a screenshot. So and today's Friday, the shows start tonight. So you want to get in on it? You want to see
Do it.
Vic DiBitetto? You want to see Mark Riccadonna and Jim Bryan? Or you want to see Jay Black? It's just
And the
for
Americans.
and the Americans. Our contests, our giveaways do not include shows for the Giggle Room. They don't give out free passes because, that's
Well, they're produced shows.
Right.
They're not actually Governor's shows. They're
right.
held
So
here.
they don't get involved. They're just independently produced shows. And if we give away free passes, I believe the producers get the door.
Yeah. There's like a whole. It's a complicated.
Right. So we don't want to take money away from them. So we're talking the big stage. But again, we're talking great shows. Vic DiBitetto in the main room, Jay Black at the Brokerage, Mark Riccadonna at McGuire's. All of them will knock your pants off. So literally. So at this point, with the show starting tonight, I would say I just need one person to send me
Do it.
a screenshot, and you're in, man. You're in.
Do it.
So, all right. So let me ask you. Good to have you back. We missed you last week.
It's so sad. I did watch most of the episode, and
Kelpie's awesome,
I love Kelpie. I just think she's so funny, and
she loves you, pal.
She's a good person. She really is.
She was very disappointed. She didn't know you weren't going to be here. She was. You could definitely see it. She was disappointed. But it was and history making when she was here, because I got to show her Governors. She had no clue.
Really?
She has never been here.
I really hate that I wasn't here.
Yeah, so I gave her a little tour of the club, of both rooms of the club, showed her around, we hung out in the bar.
Oh, man.
She has, she's been in this room before. She's been on the show, but she had never been in the club before. So I showed her the club, and she produces her own shows. She's got stuff going on this weekend. I told her, you got to start producing in that Giggle Room there.
Yeah.
and she did.
She has a dynamic take on like how she wants to run her shows. So
okay.
It's you're going to see a great show.
Yeah, she's great. I really like her. All right, so let's do the obvious. How'd you make out this week with the smog? Any stories? Tell us your experience.
So, and anybody that follows me, none of you fucking people, obviously.
Well, they're smart people,
right? But so whenever anything happens, and this is every comedian just fires off somewhere in the realm of 1,500 to 2,000 jokes about whatever is happening.
Right.
And it's so hard to find your take that maybe resonates or is something that other people don't do.
Right. Right.
And I feel like I had 2 out of the 7,000 that I did that and I was talking to John Butera about this last night. The first of which one do I want to mention first? Well, the first of which was, hey, now that the wildfires happen, can I stop telling COVID jokes?
That's good. I like that.
Because that's been something we were discussing even as COVID lockdown was happening.
Right.
Comedians were talking about, after this, you're just going to sit through a show of 10 people doing 7 minutes of COVID jokes.
Yeah.
And it's going to suck. But I actually, that was a negative view. I think everybody's done a fantastic job of it. But here we are. Here's this huge dynamic thing. The other one was, and I'm going to punch you for this.
Punch me?
Well, you, and then there's this cat in Pennsylvania I need to punch.
Mark Riccadonna.
No. I'll. You know what? Maybe I should. You know what? That guy, Jim, is from Long Island, so maybe I can get a bro. Hey, while you're passing through, could you punch this guy in the throat?
Okay.
Because my favorite that I wrote was the best part of the wildfires is being widely reported. It's that we could barely see New Jersey from New York.
Okay, that was very funny.
everybody's laughing. All of a sudden, I get a like. We've talked about this before.
We have talked about this, and I still hit likes all the time, but I for a short time I was like hitting likes on purpose with you.
Yeah.
But but the thought of that's already out of my head. I just hit likes.
Right. And then this cat in Pennsylvania did that, but not only did he just like it, he ended up trying to add to it.
Yeah, I gave up on that a long time ago.
So I
Except when you say you look old, I had to join in on that.
No. That was just like a thirst shot. That was me. Like, look how hot I am.
Right.
Or used to be, really. Oh my God. That's one of the best pictures of me ever. I'm like, that really captures what I looked like at that time. Because sometimes you look and you're like,
oh yeah, what the hell?
I don't
was
think
that?
I looked like that.
Right. Or I don't remember wearing my hair
looking
that
like
way.
that.
Yeah.
Right. But this is like, oh no, that's the guy who used to hook up at every fucking house party I ever went to.
Nice.
In that period of time, the high school years. But this guy writes, I thought New Jersey was the light at the end of the tunnel for you. And I'm like, dude, we all make fun of New Jersey. You can't come on my fucking post and make it sound like New York sucks, because it doesn't.
All right. This guy deserves to be called out. Who is this guy?
So I met him. I actually have another story with him. I have two more stories with him. It was in Pennsylvania when I went on the road with Billy and Joe and Terry.
Yeah.
And we were in Scranton, and this guy was on the. He's like a big Terry McNeely fan, you know what I'm saying? And if you know what I mean, that's for Alex Bradley. If you know what I mean. So we met him, and he was like the one who was sitting there. I've told this story to you, like, bro, this is very on the right kind of thing, which I really don't care about. It's what he said about comedy, though, that like I was trying to like not pay attention, play a game on my phone, and he goes, that's why I'm doing this, is because I want to change the world from the stage. Yes,
right,
this is that guy. And I go,
that's him?
And I just put my phone down. I'm like, dude, you're not going to fucking change the world by telling dick jokes.
In Pennsylvania.
Right, and in Dunmore. Well, no, it's Oliphant is the actual, a great club. But I'm like, and Terry, it was a guest spot. Terry put the guy up. Nice guy, but it's just like a little misguided.
A little?
But then he fucking, I had an Arnie Price moment with him, which was he sent me a text that was like, hey, I'm 2.5 hours from New York. So if
I see where this is going.
there's ever a show that you need somebody for, please. And I'm like, dude, I don't book shows.
And there's 5,000 comedians 5 minutes from my house.
Right. But that I don't even want to get to that.
Right.
Because that's like, like, oh, but what about me?
Mm-hmm.
And we all feel that. But, dude,
I don't.
What about my posts says anything about me? And maybe because John uses me as a host sometimes, and I think that some people may think that the host has some sort of power over anything in the world.
Well, yeah, I think people who don't really know what goes on in the comedy world think that the host is the one in charge. Absolutely, I think that.
Oh my God!
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But I'm like, dude, and but then he comes, yeah, but dude, how?
That was great.
How? Look, but that's me with my phone. I'm like, I used to call it looking at God's camera when I had any kind of semblance of religiosity, but I now call it life's camera. And it's, you know what, The Office ruined this joke for me. I've been telling this joke since high school. Like, just in line, it's like kind of a regular thing I would say, which, because I would say, like, has anybody ever said something so stupid to you that you have to look into life's camera or God's camera?
Right. Sometimes in life you just imagine the camera's there that you just kind of look at.
And because this is like when in the Air Force, we used to, my buddies in my Airman Leadership School class, I was like, gee, this will date me and tell you how long ago this was. I'd be like, I always like to say no pickles on like my Big Mac so that I know it's fresh. But that was back in the day. They've streamlined all their operations and whatever. But if you ask for no pickles, this is what would happen. They would look at the fucking menu.
Yep.
Like the menu's gonna tell them like, well, Rick, it's the third button down from the fourth column,
Right.
kind of thing. Like,
Right. It's just a stall tactic. Like, and while they're looking, like, how do I?
but
get
it's
out
a
of
stall tactic that takes your fucking attention away from the place where you're going to find the no pickle button. So that used to be like our shorthand for like somebody saying something stupid. We would go,
this? Right.
okay, go on.
Right. That's great. So what's worse, this guy commenting or me liking it?
Oh, it's so close.
What? Who cares? I mean,
So fucking close.
what does it matter that somebody hit like instead of haha or an emoji?
Because if it's especially, there's very few of these posts where it's like I feel like I hit something. Like that like is dynamic and singular and
Right.
absolutely
And
my
that's cool that
voice.
somebody liked it.
I would rather it just be not like it and have all laughing.
This
faces.
is an Andy thing, right?
I don't know. I don't care
Because people
because
like
I am me.
people
so,
like my posts all the time. I don't like it's liking is still okay.
I don't know.
That's why it's there.
You're not as special as I am.
Oh, I know that.
Just kidding.
Carol Miner says, "Don't hijack the post." Am I right? Carol's always right. Happy birthday, Carol.
Preach,
Is it
Carol. Yeah, happy birthday.
Is it today or yes today?
I just wrote a happy birthday post.
Happy birthday, Carol. Hope you had a great time in Florida.
And thank you so much for taking those pictures and sending them to me.
Oh,
No, she was right by my grandmother's, like where my grandmother lived. She, like, I hadn't given specific instructions on where it was, but Aruba. She took a picture of Aruba's, which is this restaurant that's right.
I remember
on
you
the
guys
beach,
talking about that.
right at the pier, and so it was really cool to kind of to be like, oh my God, that's what it looks like now.
Carol has got to be one of the most thoughtful people I've ever known.
Right.
I mean, and that explains it right there. I mean, she only met you for the first time when
Right.
she was here 2 or 3 weeks
No,
ago.
I thought that was very sweet, and I
yeah.
really appreciated that.
I mean, to send me the Buckies all the time. She once sent me out of nowhere a drawing of the Beatles that her son made. I mean, she's always just thinking. You know, when was that last year? No, in 2021 when Sally had that neck surgery.
Oh right.
Carol had the same surgery, so Carol called. And
Oh,
she,
that's
and
very sweet.
Talked her
Yeah.
through the whole thing. Yeah, she is just fantastic. Vicky says, happy birthday, Carol. Jeff Bosey's watching. Hello, Jeff. It takes away from the post if it's a funny show that it's funny giving a thumbs up is like, yeah, I saw it.
That's true. All right, well, you finished well.
Can you explain
You really
that to me?
kind of lost in the
Yeah, what
middle
did he
there.
say?
So basically, he's like, he's saying it takes away from the post if it is funny.
If I hit a like?
Yes, because it's like, because
It says I liked it.
yeah. But liking it's not the same thing as laughing at the joke that I just told. They are. That's why it's why it exists. It used to only be likes.
Yeah.
But then it was like, oh, right, there's like a depth of human interaction that goes past just the, I acknowledge that you have posted something. Because a like is almost like saying, like, I see that you posted something.
Oh.
Just something.
So to take the 2 more seconds to find the haha emoji, that
Literally,
that
it's
says
a
more.
huge game changer.
All right.
And that's like that's what he's saying is like a thumbs up is just like, oh yeah, look at you posting on social
You
media.
realize that you and Bosey are the ones like
I think you're
about
gonna.
this.
I think you're gonna find if you start asking around.
Yeah. All right, you guys help me out. Note to self: don't like Andy's post, says Carol.
That's totally cool.
So you guys help me out. Do you agree with this, or is it just
If it's
if
a
I'm
funny
Andy right now,
post.
I'd be scared because he's aligned with Bosey. Which and Jeff, we talked about a few minutes ago. I'm showing that video you sent me for Don's wedding.
Listen, a stopped clock is right twice a day, as long as it's not a 24-hour clock.
There you go. Well, I believe that one is.
You can, yeah, that's right. There's been times that I'm here where it's
Yeah.
later.
All right.
But if that's stopped, it's off.
That was very Christopher Walken.
Well, that's because we're from the same neighborhood in Queens.
That's right. What is he? Oh, let's see. So the program blocked something Carol said. I think likes are giving to freely, like fucks. Oh.
Too freely, yeah.
Oh, yeah. I'm allowing that because Carol said fuck. That's the only reason I'm keeping it. First time chat. Nick's the Wolf. Who even uses Facebook?
I know, right?
Yeah, Nick.
Told us.
Yeah, Wolf. Who do we know who this is?
I have no fucking clue.
Well, whoever you are, Nick's the Wolf. Thanks for joining us and
do you
commenting.
see how old we are? Come on,
really.
Of course we use Facebook. Jesus Christ.
Bosie, it's okay. Here's a better example. Tony, let's say you're on stage doing a joke, and instead of people laughing, they just give you that thumbs up.
Thank you.
I think I'd be happy with that because usually I get this when I'm on stage. So I think I'd be all right with people going, it's true.
That's so sad. I am really, really sad for you right now.
Which is why I got to change my act up. And I've been putting some ideas down.
And I'm impressed that you were able to like have the mental agility to come up with that.
Yes, all right, I'll give you that. Very proud of you, Jeff. Not only were you able to come up with that, but the sentence, the paragraph,
The sentence structure, yeah,
it all made sense.
I mean, there's no punctuation.
Right.
So
and
here,
then,
wait, I'm gonna try to say it with the way that it's written, as Jeff Bosie.
Yes. Oh.
Okay, here's a better example. Tony, let's say you're on stage doing a joke, and instead of people laughing, they just give you that thumbs up.
You know, he does really talk like that. He doesn't use punctuation in his.
You know
when
what?
he
Now that
speaks.
it's funny, as I was saying it, I'm like, this is easier to do this impression right now.
I mean, there's capital letters like in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, it's like implied punctuation. It's like right before this should have been a period.
I know there's something that should have went there.
It
I
could
don't
have been
know.
a comma even. Semicolon. Jesus, I could imagine. I would love to give Jeff Bosie a grammar test where that's like semicolon heavy.
Right.
I don't know what you thought was going to happen, Andy Plagainos.
But look at Vicky coming to his rescue. He dictates into his phone.
Yeah, he dicks his phone all right. You got that right, Vicky.
Oh, that's fantastic.
I mean, and full disclosure, I totally dick my phone too.
This whole, which, by the way, if I was playing the videos, not the birthday videos, if the wedding videos for Don right now, this would be the perfect segue for Jeff's video.
Just saying.
Wait till you guys see it. This whole conversation is cool and heavy, says Jeff. So, all right, you know what?
Damn it, I said Cool Whip. Stupid talk to text.
All right. So you know what? I think I just want to see what I have. I have stuff, but
But then we also have that interview.
yeah. So I think I'm gonna play the interview now.
Ooh, perfect.
And yeah, and then we'll be back. Just literally, we just finished the interview less than 10 minutes before we went on the air this morning. So we spoke to Mark Riccadonna and Jim Bryan, two great comedians.
Jim Philip Bryan.
That's right.
That was before we started recording,
Yes.
right? Yeah, and he's the one who pointed it out. I was like, "Oh, you have 3 first names as your," but he was like that he has 3. They're also 3 last names,
Right. And then but the best line was yours. You're like, so you are a future killer.
Yeah, well, it's a serial killer thing. Yeah.
Well, it's an assassin, Lee Harvey Oswald. I mean, it can just be any assassin. Yeah. So great comedians. This weekend at McGuire's, you can see them both. So here we go, talking to Mark and Jim. All right, everybody, the big moment we've been waiting for. Very excited. Been wanting to have this one gentleman on the show for a long time. Mark Riccadonna is here. Jim Bryan is here. You can see them tonight and tomorrow at McGuire's out in Bohemia. Head on out there. It will be, I guarantee it'll be fantastic. I've seen Mark in action. I work with him here at the station. He is fantastic. Hello, guys. How are you?
Hey, it's good. Dude, if you're like me, wait till you see Jim. He's great.
Oh, yeah?
I worked with him, and we're in Hanover, PA, at a club called the Church of Satire, which is an amazing club.
It's a great name.
And this dude was doing a guest spot on it because he owns the place. So he was doing a guest spot. And I started sweating really badly. because it's really funny, smart stuff.
Wow.
And,
Nice.
I love working with comics that make me work. So
That's good. So again, it's a great night because that's your style too. Very clever, very smart comedy. So
thanks.
Absolutely, yeah, my pleasure. And I'm sorry. So Jim, you own this Church of Satire?
Yeah, I do.
Oh, because I've heard great things about the place.
Oh, that's awesome. That's really cool to hear that the reach is that far.
Yeah. Well, it might have been from Mark. I'm not sure, but
Just now.
He has his audience trained that they know you're not going to do just your canned act. Like you can explore and do things and tell stories and mess around, and the audience will go with you. Where a lot of clubs are like, as soon as you stray from your act, they're like, all right, get back to your jokes.
Yeah,
Get
sure.
back to like there, it's like, no, hey, you want to go for a ride? Go for a ride.
that's awesome. And it's a fairly new place?
5 years.
Oh, 5 years. Oh, okay.
Okay.
That's fantastic. 5 years, that's usually, the first 5 is usually, if I'm not mistaken, the toughest, right?
Yeah, that would check out. Definitely. Definitely.
Please tell me it's getting better. Please.
And so what's happening now? Like, has he kidnapped you or something? Is that why you're there with him?
Yeah, I just closed the club. I needed a break. Kind of have that luxury to do it. So it's nice to get out and do. I'm a comic. I just sort of stumbled on the club. Just sort of happened.
Wow.
So it's nice to get out and run around, and I love working with Mark, so it was a no-brainer, Plus, I got friends on Long Island. I grew up out there, so I'm pumped to see folks I haven't seen in a while too.
Where are you from?
I grew up in Wading River.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
That's I grew up in Port Jeff Station.
Okay.
Actually.
Yeah, I was going to Port Jeff bars, when I was in high school, so I know the area.
Yeah, Billy's, Tara's being the most famous.
Yeah, Tara's with the menu on the plates and stuff.
Unfortunately, no longer. They fucked up. They took all the paper plates off the wall and painted the place. It's got no charm anymore. No charm.
I bet they took that basketball machine out of there too.
They did, yeah. Prime standing space.
Yeah, take Tara's off the list.
We were gonna go, but they just lost it.
The food is still it's gone up a little bit, but it's still the cheapest deal in town.
Now it's back on the list.
He had me sold on paper plates.
Yeah, it's I'm happy that you don't have that whole build up drive and then.
And I know Mark, he's from Youngstown, Ohio.
That's right, baby.
Home of McDonald's.
Boom boom. Boom boom Mancini. We got
Oh shit.
We got Kelly Pavlik.
I've heard the name. Is that a hockey player?
No, he was a lightweight champion of the world a couple years ago.
Oh.
He was Kelly Pavlik, the ghost. He looks like he stepped off a construction site and put in a ring. He was just a skinny, scrappy dude that would take a beating and beat the crap out of people.
Oh, very cool.
Really fun guy to watch.
Wow. And it's also Youngstown is also a Springsteen song.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I don't know if you saw what I posted today on Instagram, but it's when Bruce Springsteen in '95 got inducted to the Hall of Fame. My cousin Mike's. You see him do the perfect shake. You think he was like Al Bundy going for the 4th touchdown at Polk High, who also is from Youngstown. And he made his way to the stage and started yelling into the mic, and the security guards grabbed him, and Bruce Springsteen goes, "Let the girl sing."
But then, now, all right, maybe I might know the clip you're talking about, because then after that, doesn't Springsteen go, "That's rock and roll"?
Yeah.
Very cool.
That's my cousin Mike.
That's hilarious. That is fantastic. Because it is very rock and roll. He's like hanging on Springsteen, trying to grab the mic at the same time. It's cool. It's
Thank
funny.
you for not hanging on me.
I noticed I just went like this. Yeah, I don't want to touch you. Yeah. So all right. So how's the new dog?
Oh, he's good. He had his first poop accident today.
Oh, congratulations. Yeah.
He was like, he came, I think he was so happy he didn't get killed in Oklahoma that he was like, came house trained. Like, where do you want me to go? Okay, I'll do it.
Nice.
That sounds like a Springsteen lyric. So happy he didn't get killed in Oklahoma. Now he's living with Riccadonna.
But he's doing good. Where is he? He's usually right underneath me.
What did you name him? I forget.
We ended up going with Happy. But
Happy,
Oh,
that
I
was
love
it.
that
One
as
of
a
the
dog
name of
name.
Iced Tea. Which I would have loved because they didn't get the idea of like the singer of Body Count. They were thinking like the drink.
Right.
But I'm picturing this dog coming down the stairs looking at the kids like, yo, look at these white dudes. What's going on up in this bitch?
Let's go solve some sex crimes.
Yeah, right. That's really funny.
It's going to be the first time he gets left alone for more than like an hour.
Oh, is that right? Yeah.
Yeah. We're crate training him.
All
I
right.
was crate trained as a child, so I know it works.
Yeah. Well, I've told you I've spent time in Youngstown, so I believe that. The only McDonald's I ever saw that served pizza. Yeah. Do they still do that?
Italian it is. I don't think they do.
Yeah,
And I lived in a town called Brookfield, and this is I'm pretty proud of this. It's the only McDonald's that had to shut down because of bad business. But nobody went.
Wow.
They didn't make any money. They had a McDonald's.
Too many dead raccoons on the way to McDonald's.
That's just good eating. That's just good eating.
Don't knock it till you try it. That's right.
Exactly. The drive-through is just a shovel.
That'll be 2 raccoons for your order.
Right.
My wife's from Philly. I'm from Youngstown. So when we got married, obviously, we went to Long Island.
Yeah. Right here in this building.
Yeah. In fact, where you guys are recording is where my wife was getting ready when she had to get ready for the wedding.
Yeah, she got dressed right in this room. That's why Andy was sniffing the couch
I
this morning.
feel so dirty right now.
He was so mad that you guys set up the cameras later.
But wait, if we invent a time machine.
So what was this room at the time?
It was like a second green room.
Oh.
Like a
Yeah.
backup, yeah.
It was a little second green room. John Truson did a lot of his, like it was his office.
Oh, okay.
And I miss Truson. I haven't seen him in forever.
I literally just saw him last night
No way.
because he runs the Laugh Off, the Gov's
Comedy
comedy
contest.
competition, yearly comedy competition. So
When I was a door guy at Stand Up New York, Kevin Downey Jr. and John Truson used to come in every once in a while. They'd pop in. They were known as the Wonder Twins. And they would come in, and John Truson was the funniest person
Yeah.
at the bar. It didn't matter who was at the bar. He was the funniest person every time. And it was like I was telling you about my grandfather. Looking at him, you're going, look at that guy, nice, stoic, whatever. Out of the corner of his mouth, saying the funniest shit you've ever heard.
Yeah, absolutely. And I say it every time his name comes up. He's, with all due respect to Vic, in fact, Vic's here tonight and tomorrow here in Levittown, but all due respect to him, John is the original bread and milk guy.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
He had that bit long before Vic did.
Yeah. Yeah, Vic kind of made it a sketch.
Right, right.
You know, he made it a little bit of a sketch where John did it as the, what's the obsession with making French toast during a storm?
Right, exactly. Oh, yeah, I'm not trying to badmouth Vic at all, but John was the guy.
No, yeah. It's like he made it like a sketch, and it worked for him. It was great.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
That's like this shit going on with that guy, Matt Rice. Like, everybody's all bent out of shape. Who cares? The comic's doing well. We should be happy about that.
his name's in our mouths too.
Yeah. Well, he's getting people to come to comedy clubs that wouldn't come anyway.
Right.
So, like, good for him. I mean, whatever you think about crowd work, whatever. I mean, there are some people going overboard defending him.
Yeah.
But I think it's a little crazy how much people are bashing him.
Right.
It's like, it's a good thing. Anytime a comic's making a lot of money working, it's a good thing for us.
This one's pure jealousy, I feel like. Like,
Yeah.
it just literally is not coming from anywhere but jealousy.
Well, you have some comedians that don't like it because, like you mentioned, because of the crowd work. They feel, he doesn't have enough material. But if they're laughing, that's the bottom line, right?
Well, I mean, what we don't like crowd work when John Mulrooney was doing it and R.C. Smith was doing it.
Right.
Everybody talked about how brilliant it is, but now it's a good-looking guy doing it. It sucks.
I don't know. Like, I mean, for all I know, like, he's been grinding for 15 years, so far as I know. I mean, maybe he'd go to a show. He's got tons of material. He's just dropping crowd work on TikTok, and people are seeing it. Whatever. He's not burning announcements. I don't know. I mean, I don't know him. He's one of a lot of people better looking than I am, so I'm not losing any sleep about somebody being more handsome.
Yeah.
Jesus,
Yeah,
talking about shit I can't change.
Could we just hate him for that? I'm cool with that. Like, the working part, like,
I'll
whatever.
gladly hate on him for being in shape.
Right.
That's half my act.
Jim,
I hate people who better their lives. But,
Jim, how long since you moved out of Long Island?
I left Long Island in 2002.
All right, and you were how old at the time?
I was like 23 years old.
All right, this is exactly what I'm asking because your accent is thicker than Riccadonna's, and you're from here. I'm gonna bitch about that.
Survival technique?
Maybe, I don't know. Maybe residual egg sandwiches. I don't know. I have no idea.
wait, what accent do I have?
It's not really an accent, but you can tell you're not a New Yorker,
Right.
which is fine. I'm not, but
Yeah, I went to an acting school to get rid of my Midwest draw.
did you really?
I still watch Knicks games on MSG with Amazon Prime. I haven't missed a game since I left the island. So I think the only reason I still have an accent is because of Walt Frazier. That might be
That's the only reason I don't have gray hair is because of Walt. It's Clyde the Glide and Walt Frazier. Just for men, that shit.
You look less like Don with the dark beard.
Yeah.
It's got to be great, to look like Don.
I got to go back to the mustache. I feel like everybody has beards. Mustaches are the way to go.
That's one of the reasons why I shave. I used to have a big beard, and I was like, this. First of all, my wife wasn't touching me, but then I was like, I'm gonna go with I'm taking back the stash, because like it was when I went with it, it was like all like, oh, you're perv. Yeah.
I joined a club, the Pervert Club. We take field trips to strip clubs.
Fucking A.
We teach old people strip club etiquette.
How to go through
Don't yell
garbage.
at the girl. Don't yell at them. I got dollar bills. Let me see the butt cheeks. Come on.
I like using a credit card. You swipe. So, all right. So, Mark, Mark and Jim this weekend at McGuire's. Mark has got to be, and I've talked about it with Richie before. The probably the hardest working guy in the whole comedy, acting, entertainment world. You got Beer League, the series coming up. You got what's that other series where you work in the store? I'm sorry.
Unsuited.
Unsuited.
Okay. That's still running, right?
We're actually going out to the World Series of Poker to screen it.
Oh, cool.
Hopefully it gets picked up. But I got news. I don't even know. I didn't sign an NDA, so I guess I can say the National Lampoons is going to be filming a script I wrote. I don't know if I have any involvement, except I wrote it and they're buying it. So
Rock and roll.
let's see what happens. Way to go.
That's fantastic.
That's super cool.
He writes, he directs, he's acting. I mean, you're involved in a theater down there in Pennsylvania?
No, it's in New York.
Oh, it's in New York. Okay. Oh, that's right.
And,
You, Richie, do those readings every
Yeah.
like once a month, right, in the city?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Basically, what you're trying to say is, I'll do anything to not work.
Whore.
I
Yeah.
I work 18 times harder to not work.
Yeah, I hear you. Yeah, same here. I'm in. Some days I'm in the studio for 12 hours a day. But
That sounds like a Buddhist koan. There once was a master, and he worked very hard so that he would not work.
That needs to be my ringtone. And the cover of my press kit.
But how do you do it though? Really, I mean, because you're constantly, there's always something brewing. I've never seen I've never seen anything like it, to be honest with you.
I just never really stopped. Like, it's just a constant. It took me. So when I was 17 years old, I moved to New York City, and I said to myself, my goal was to be able to make a living just doing this, just being creative. That's all I want to do.
Cool.
I don't want to be rich. I don't want to be famous. I just want to make a living and be creative every day. If I do that, I win. If money comes, that's great. So I spent 22 years doing it, and I've done so many projects that went nowhere quickly that, I put in. I hear these guys going like, they're 5 years in and they're like, I just, when people ask me to do this, and I won't do it because the money's not right. And I'm like, man, 20 years I put in where I never asked about the money. I never asked about it. Does it interest me? Is it something creative? And I would just do it. And in the past 10 years, it started to like, oh, I get paid to do that?
Right.
Somebody's going to write a check for me for that?
But did you feel that pressure of whether a project was paid enough or not after you got married and had kids, or you just kept going?
Well, I just kept going, but I did have to stop doing some stuff. And then, like, when we bought a house, it was like there was a lot of times, like, there's a lot of gigs where I have. We were just talking about this in my backyard, where it's like, it's not necessarily financially a good thing, but like, like I'll get asked to do something, and it's like hang in the owner's box and do comedy for a bunch of insanely wealthy people at a concert, and then hang backstage and whatever. And it's like, I'll be gone for like 3 days on the road with a band, or, doing something really crazy that you're just like, oh, this is how rich people live.
Right.
And I had to stop doing a lot of that stuff because it was like, I can't be gone for 3 days and come back with nothing.
Yeah, sure.
Like, before I could. And I didn't grow up with money or anything. I just worked my ass off to try to stay above, water. I always feel like I'm about a gig away from losing everything.
Right.
But it's like, if I just keep working, one of them will happen.
Well, yeah, the desperation is obvious because you're working with Richie Byrne.
Yeah, that'll make you desperate, right?
Well, I love so much. Richie had the exact opposite approach. If you ask Richie about like booking gigs, he's like, I don't know. I always had somebody do it. I've never had anybody else. I finally have a manager that's getting me work. Like, I've never had that 20 years. I hear all these young comics going like, I need to get an agent and a manager to start getting my schedule together. I'm like, how long have you been doing this?
Yeah, right.
Like, they're not going to. Like, what are they going to do? Get you work to host at clubs? Like, they don't want to touch you unless you're making 10 grand a gig.
That's right.
Like,
yeah. And to your point, you've had some cool experiences. You've done cool things, and of course, we want to, like you said, survive and make money. But at the same time, I'm sure there's certain things that you've done that you just can't put a price tag on.
Oh yeah, I mean, there's like between the USO tours,
Sure,
doing stuff with bands. Like, I get to hang out with the Steve Miller Band just because I tell jokes. Like, that's crazy to me.
That's so cool.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I feel like that imposter syndrome thing where it's like, any minute they're going to know I'm just some idiot from Ohio. And they're going to call me out on it, and I'm going to feel like an idiot.
We've finally trapped you, Riccadonna.
You could have gotten me with so much smaller of a bait.
Sorry, go ahead.
You get to go to do this stuff, and you get to like meet people that you can't believe you're meeting,
True.
and you get to like. I mean, I was at this music thing in Nashville, and it was like I'm doing stand up, and the bands that I grew up with, posters on my wall, are in the audience.
That's
like I'm
cool.
looking at Tom Kiefer's band, the band Kicks. There's like Prince's horn section. It's like all these people that I grew up, and they're coming to see me. Like,
Right.
I feel like it's like, I wonder if they're gonna know that I'm not that good.
I did the same thing. I was once backstage with Queen, just a couple
Oh,
years
my
ago.
God.
But the same thing. I'm standing back there thinking and I'm sure a lot of people are probably thinking that too. But like how?
But then they realize you only have one leg, and they're like, "Oh, it's his Make-A-Wish."
Yes, that's it exactly. The poor Make-A-Wish kid happening. But
That Make-A-Wish kid looks old.
He must have the Benjamin Button thing too. No leg and Benjamin Button syndrome? This kid.
And he's only at Queen?
let's hook him up with the president.
You know what we found out? It was actually Freddie Mercury's Make-A-Wish. He always wanted to do a bump of cocaine off a stump.
Rami Malek was there, so I guess that was the closest thing to getting that done.
The stump up, nice, yeah.
That's me, the human stump bump.
Yeah, at a rehab center.
So
I always thought people used a key, not a whole leg.
This is so elaborate.
all right, so
I
we
wonder why Tony had a little spoon at the end of his stump.
Do you know, it's a Mets spoon. It says the Mets on it.
That's right. Well, I do. I have on my socket. There's a little Mets emblem on it. I showed it to Mookie Wilson just last week. He liked it. Yeah.
Perfect example of what we're talking about. You get to meet heroes,
Right.
Like just you can't believe you're doing it.
But
you know?
and I'm with you. You do. You get that feeling like I don't belong here. If I say anything, I'm gonna give up. Like the gig is up, and so I just have to like stand in the corner.
opens.
Yes, exactly. You just have to stand in the corner and hope nobody notices you.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, and the weird thing that happens too is then they find out you're a comedian, and then they're interested in talking to you about what you do.
Yes.
Right.
Interviewing a bunch of boxers, and it's like, why does Iran Barkley give a shit about what it's like to be a comedian?
Right.
we had a few years ago in the studio here. We had Ricky Bird, who was part of the Joan Jett and the Blackhearts. Like he was the guitar player in all the big hits,
cool.
and he had a guitar with him, and he refused. He literally refused to play anything. He just wanted to tell jokes that he knew and ask us questions about comedy, and that
What was his best joke?
Oh, I don't remember. It was all bad dad jokes.
Right.
Yeah.
I like those.
I do too. But in fact, yeah, I know you do some of those usually when you finish up, right, in your act.
Yeah.
But I don't remember laughing at all, to be honest with him. But
Oh, you didn't even give him sympathy laughs?
I probably did. I don't know.
The rock star's telling you jokes and you won't give them sympathy laughs.
I probably did smile and nod.
The brain takes over. Yeah.
All right, so
Fight or flight.
before we go, and I know. Oh, so yeah, how long is it gonna? So you're gonna leave as soon as this is done to pretty much get up here to get to McGuire's on time, which you're probably cutting it close at this point. You only have 8 hours.
Yeah, I think we'll be late to the early show, but that's fine.
Oh, is it an early NLH show tonight?
No, I think it's just one.
Oh,
I think almost positive it's just one. I checked the itinerary on the way to the gig.
yeah, that's smart.
Nice.
Yeah,
Um,
a few details. I get to see my granny I haven't seen in a while. That's
Cool.
a bonus. Stopping in Kings Park. That's as far as the blue line on the GPS goes for now. See what unfolds thereafter.
Well, that's actually a good thing. Traffic. I'm obsessed with the summer traffic. The more north you get on the island, the better it is on a Friday in the summer.
Outstanding.
So
Good to know.
and who's driving?
I am.
Oh, nice. How did he rope you into that?
Well, I mean, I'm on my way up to get him. I live in South Central Pennsylvania. I'm closer to like
It's the
Baltimore.
hood.
I'm
yeah.
closer to
And if we got a problem,
Yeah, no, not that kind of South Central. I got farmland as far as the eye can see, man.
Right.
But yeah, so I'm on my way up, so it's really no big deal.
Was that was the explanation? Hey, look, I have cartoons
It's
to
on the
write
way.
and shows to direct and people to talk to, so you can drive.
He can just zoom the whole time. It's fine.
I was gonna say, like, this is how far your comedy career has come. You got somebody driving you out to Bohemia.
Yeah, we're driving right now.
This is a green screen.
I'm using my knees.
Get out of the fucking way.
You want something to drink? Oh,
All right, so before we let you go, of course we have to talk about drinks, jokes, and storytelling.
Yes.
I have, and I've been, when I push it here on the show, I just keep saying that you got to watch the episode with Doug Wilson. I don't think that might be. I laughed so hard on that one, man.
There was during that show, if you watch the Doug Wilson episode, watch my face throughout, check in on me, because there was a moment where I go, oh, they're joking around. These two are joking around, yelling at each other, fighting, and it's a joke. It's fine. And then it started to get uncomfortable. I started going, I can't believe Doug hasn't just hung up.
Right.
Like, just went out. And then it started to get funny again. And it was like, I couldn't believe the back and forth between him and Richie. And I just sat in the middle and laughed. It was like the greatest, easiest lifting show I've ever done. I'm like so proud of it. And I didn't do a thing.
And I do. I think it's great. You guys originally started that during the pandemic.
No, we were doing it about a year before the pandemic.
Oh, you were doing it live at the comic strip, right?
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. And we were only doing audio back then.
Right.
So if you go on our audio one, you can go way back in the way back files. I mean, we had some crazy shit. Like Dr. Oz came on and told dirty jokes.
Oh, that's funny.
That's why he didn't get elected. They dug up the interview, and we had some crazy, some really fun interviews. But because it was not on video, we used to get really drunk during the show.
Hence the name.
Really drunk. But it's funny, Richie's like, we don't drink on the show anymore. We got to change the name. I'm like, I think it's just assumed at this point. We've consumed enough alcohol in our lives.
Yeah, you're all like, wait, you're not drinking during the pod?
So it became, you started doing video during the pandemic. Is that what I was getting confused with? Okay.
Yeah.
And it's, now here, and it's going great. And I believe this Monday, I think, is the Fugle Sang one, I think, which I
excellent.
personally loved. I'm a big fan of Fugle Sang, so that was great.
He's great.
Yeah, really.
I just worked with him at this cannabis conference, and there's nothing better than getting paid half in cash and half in pot.
Fucking A.
Wow.
It's like we went in the back, and the guy goes, let me give you some free samples. And he pulls out a mason jar about this big. And he unscrews it, and he gets these envelopes, and he's just like, that enough? And like, what do you say?
Right.
Like,
A little more.
That's probably a year's supply for me, but keep going.
Wow.
And so I brought it home. It's in an airtight baggie that they use at the dispensaries.
Right.
I opened it up, and then closed it and put it in. I have a Foot Locker in my office. Our entire house reeked.
Wow.
My wife came home from work and was like, "Were you smoking in the house?"
Mm.
And I was like, "No, I just opened the bag for like a second."
Right.
And
So
now,
I have a feeling I probably won't get a lot of that smoked because it seems like it'll knock you on your ass.
Right.
yeah. But that's why Jim's driving, so you can test it out.
Fucking A.
I think if we're doing that, I better drive.
All right, so we're going to let you go. We wish you a safe trip and hope it's all the best this weekend at McGuire's. And I do hope to get down there at some point. I would love to see you
I'm definitely
guys.
going to try to.
Yeah.
It's closer to me. I'm
Yeah.
definitely going to try to stop by.
Hey, come out, do a guest spot
Oh, nice. Oh, yeah, DC Benny is stopping by at one point, right?
tonight. Yeah,
Tonight.
Nice.
You will be on, and it should be a lot of fun. Guy always has new stuff.
Oh, he's amazing, yeah.
Fucking A.
And he lives out there now, so he's
I didn't know that.
So
Yeah.
I'm like,
Oh, he's even further out. Dude, he's like
I wouldn't work with him much.
He-
He's amazing.
he's
What's
like
up?
in Riverhead. Like he's far out.
yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, that's plan to meet up. Maybe we can even do an in studio thing while we're out there.
Let's
I'm
do
sure
it.
he's going to want to get away from his family for a little bit. Maybe we'll run in.
Yeah, if you guys have free time, I mean, my weekend's a little busy, but if you guys want to try and do something, yeah, maybe I can set you up. That would be a lot of fun. I would love to do that. So,
Yeah.
all right. Drinks, jokes, and storytelling every Monday here on our YouTube channel. Go to McGuire's this weekend. You'll see a great show. Mark Riccadonna, Jim Bryan, DC Benny, and maybe even Andy. Thank you guys for your time and a safe trip. And, Mark, I'll see you Monday. Right? Are we recording Monday? Yeah, we are.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys. And, Jim, it was a pleasure to meet you. All the best.
Nice to meet you.
Pleasure. Take care, guys. See you around.
All right. See ya. Thanks. How cool is that? See, that's on a delay. We're already.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
cool.
How cool is that? If I don't care, that you get a freaking spot.
Dude, I can't even. Like that. I'm just so genuinely touched that he even asked me.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's.
Yeah, that was very cool.
I
He's a cool
appreciate
guy, that Riccadonna.
Yes.
And thank you guys for sticking around and watching that. That was a lot of fun. What a funny, funny guy. And if you enjoyed that, wait till you see his stand-up. Between seeing him live, seeing videos, I mean, the guy just crushes.
Yeah.
I've never seen him do okay. He always crushes. Always crushes.
I feel like just because of the scheduling and everything, I only got to see him one time.
And he sells merch. He's got books. He's all over the place. So so check him out.
He talked about it in the interview. About like just constantly going.
Oh yeah,
Just
yeah.
being creative.
But I don't think we mentioned any of his books or anything. But,
Right.
And he will be selling merchandise tonight.
Oh, that's right. Isn't there the book that one direction it's clean and in the other direction is the dirty Joe?
That's true. Yeah,
That's hilarious.
I think he's got one or two other
Oh,
books.
well, I've seen it more than once. I just realized.
Yeah, have you?
Because the Comic Sans.
Oh yeah, right. He's fantastic. So we appreciate his time, and it was cool to meet Jim Bryan. Glad we got to know him before he commits murder.
Yes. Maybe we'll be in the documentary now.
Oh yeah, they'll show a snippet of the interview or something. Yeah.
Billy's got a great joke that's kind of about this, where he's like, serial killers, stand-up comedians, we're very similar. We both work late at night. We're both looking to kill. And if we kill enough, they'll make a Netflix documentary about it.
That's fantastic. That Billy's so funny.
Dude.
Where is he?
It's funny. Last night was a crazy night. I should talk about this because we hadn't even gotten to I went to the laugh off at McGuire's last night, and I stopped by to talk to Carla and Keegan at. They were at
Stereo Garden.
No, they were at the Village.
Village Idiot. Sorry.
And that was an Andrew Washington show, and Tim Saliani was hosting. I didn't get to see Tim, but I stopped in just to talk to him real quick. And so there was that show, and there was a solid amount of comedians. I'm not talking out of school. There was quite a few comedians on that show. I then shot down to the Laugh Off, which was great. My friend Alex Bradley made it through. A couple of my friends did not, and maybe it is I'm biased. I'm totally willing, but I really felt like they, because maybe with more time they would have been better. But Allison Chadwick, who was on yesterday here, she was there, so I got to see Allison, who I held her wallet while she went up there. Can I ask you a question, Andy? What? Like, could you hold my wallet? I'm just bringing my phone up there, but I feel weird if I'm my wallet up there. I'm like, yeah, all right. So I'm sitting there with a lady's wallet. You know what? I had a joke that I wanted to, when I handed it back to her, I wanted to tell her that I'm going to be like, hey, I rearranged your cards. It's going to be a lot more efficient this way. But I didn't do. I'm like, why didn't I fucking say that?
I did that to Richie Byrne. We were in here recording like a week or so ago, and he left the room to go to the bathroom, and I did the usual, grabbing the phone, took a bunch of pictures. I've seen him twice since, and he's still. I bet you he hasn't even looked. And so it's probably just still sitting there.
I'm not even 100% sure how
did this even get here? What is this?
I mean, I use it to talk to people. But so it was really great to see, and I got to see Tom McGuire was one of the people who did the spots. Tim Gage was there. I did not get to see Tim Gage.
Oh, I love Tim Gage.
But got to see Tom McGuire. Love the Port Jeff Station.
Tom McGuire's in the laugh-off?
No. They
he
have
just
a couple
came
of
out-
pro
yeah.
comics to do spots.
Right.
And we actually joked because he was leaving, and he's like, all right, man, I'm out of here. I'm like, all right. He's like, this is what I do. He's like, I set everything on fire, and I fucking walk away. I'm like a 90s action movie. Like, you're just walking away, and there's just, like, explosions behind you. But,
like Canada?
Yeah. Canada's behind you. See, that was the thing. I didn't write it, but because I don't want my wife to it's the whole thing. My first wife is Canadian.
Yeah, you had mentioned that yesterday.
And this has been very triggering for me.
I was laughing when you wrote that yesterday.
That was only in the chat for here.
Yes.
So there was only 3 people that saw that. So I needed to.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which is why Fremder repeats his jokes all the time. Which, again, anybody know where Fremder is? He has not been on all week.
I meant to send him a message, and I'm going to mean to send him a message again.
Screw it. Let's do it right now.
Maybe he's, like, angry at us or something.
Yeah?
No, I don't think so. But I don't know. Was he on? Did he comment during Hugh and Travis's show? Because usually he's on there too.
I don't think he did.
If he
did, well, no. You know what happened? We weren't live. We had to record it and then played it later.
Oh, right. Okay. What was I gonna say? Oh, so I was at the Laugh Off. That was really fun to see comics that only come out for competitions.
Who else was? Do you know the names of other winners or not?
Well, not all the winners. I know, and your buddy Mike Tansey, and he told the story from his perspective.
Not on stage.
No.
Oh, with you guys
hanging out because I brought you up because I said I always forget, and there's these moments, and like the moment was last night where I'm like, all right, guys, hey, I always forget to fucking tell you guys this, but if you ever want to come down, do a pod. By all means, I mean, if you want to come on a Friday, I will be there, and that's cool. But I also understand if you come on a different day, and because we all have our weirdness about like, listen, I hang out with these guys all the time, so I know that they would be cool and comfortable and everything.
Yeah.
But sometimes you just want it to be yourself. So it's cool if they want to come in on a Friday, if that makes them feel more comfortable. But I also understand if they come in on Thursday or Monday and or Tuesday, and then Hugh's here, and then I guess when Brandon comes back on, is that Thursday?
Thursday.
Like I've already forgotten. Like you've been away for too long, Brandon. But you know, like or I guess so it would be Monday, like going on Monday where it's just yourself. Like I don't want to get in anybody's way kind of thing, but I made that announcement so your name had come up, and Mike Ellison's like, I don't know who that is. I'm like, oh, you don't know who that is? I do a fucking podcast with him every Friday, Mike. He's like, no, I've watched it a couple of times, but I mean I haven't personally met him. I'm like, we'll back out of that. I've used that joke on just about everybody. Anybody who's like, "Oh, I don't know Tony Walker," and I'm like,
Yeah.
4 years. It's been like 4 years I've been doing this like almost every Friday. So yeah, Tansy, Alex Bradley, which Alex had like one of those sets, and like it wasn't all of his funniest material. He has a ton more that is even funnier than what he did. It matched the time. He had to deal with some people that said some stuff and were laughing too much. He's like, "Oh yeah, you can stop laughing." And then he had what I said that was a perfect 5 minutes. He did a perfect 5 minutes where he went up. He had everybody's attention the entire time. He never lost them at any point. It was just like the kind of set that you're like, it was great, but I know that he can do even better.
Yeah.
But it's the kind of set that I think we all want to do when we go up, where it's just consistent. It's you're getting laughs. You don't go over, you don't go under. It's just a thing of beauty. That's Tansy. And then it was more of defined by the people that didn't. It's like Allison didn't move on. Ellison didn't move on. Donnie Roy didn't move on. It was funny because like the last person that I was interested in, there was like 18 people, but the last person that was like goes to the mic was like 11th. And I'm like, I think I'm going to leave after 11.
Yeah.
But then I was like, but that's bullshit because then I'm not going to be here to see who. Oh, and it was a good hang because Rocco Perillo was there.
Oh, cool.
Always fun to hang out with Steve.
Well, so what was Tansy's version?
Oh, it was just like from his perspective.
Yeah. But
it was the same. It's the same.
Yeah. Okay.
Except
All right.
he of course, because it's him, he's going into more of the defending himself. That he's like, no, it's a joke about a chick with no legs. You know, which is like, it's one of those conversations that only comedians get into.
Yeah. Right.
You know?
Yep.
I love,
He's a good guy. I like Mike a lot.
I used to call, like, Greg Pfeiffer was a friend of mine. He's going to be on the 22nd. And he's the one who our daughters are friends. And he'd text me earlier, "Hey, are you going to be there?" I'm like, "Yeah, I think I am." And so I do it for both of them, but I'll do it for Tansy because I'm like, Tansy, you got to have him bring you up like this. "He's the Tanzanator. Come with me if you want to laugh." And then I guilted him into, because he was there with his, like, I guess it's his girlfriend. And this is the second time. We did a show last week at round 2 on last Saturday, and which I hosted. And he didn't introduce her to any of us, which, listen, like, normal people don't do this all the time. But comedians are the worst at being like, "Hey guys, this is my friend." Blah blah
Yeah,
blah.
you're absolutely right about that.
It's a very, so as an older comedian, that like if I see it happen, and it's from my bartending days too, because you want everybody to feel part of the group. And so she was like standing over there. He's like, "All right, guys, I'll see you." I'd be like, "Hey, nice not meeting you again."
You know, we've been. We have Mark Riccadonna on. He hosts Drinks, Jokes, and Storytelling with Richie Byrne. Richie Byrne tells this great story. He was at, I forget where, somewhere in the city. It might have been Caroline's. Did a set, and Gene Simmons was in the audience, and he's with a woman, and they had, all the comedians had strict instructions: do not talk to Gene.
Right.
Richie did his set. And a little while later, he's walking through the club, and he's walking past Gene. So Gene actually stops him and says, "I enjoyed your set." So Richie's like, "Oh, well, thanks."
I enjoy your tongue.
Yeah, right. And so, so Gene, puts his hand out. He says, "Oh, I'm Richie." Says, "Okay, pleasure to meet you, Richie." They talk for 2 seconds. Richie takes like 2 steps. He comes back. He goes to the woman. He says, "I'm sorry. I didn't introduce myself.
I do the
My
same.
name is Richie."
Yes.
She goes, "Oh, hi, I'm so-and-so." And then he goes, "I'm really sorry." He says, "I didn't mean to ignore you." He goes,
Right.
"That's why he came back." He goes, "It's happened to me plenty of times where somebody's talking, and they don't introduce me." He says, "So I just want to make a point to say hello. I didn't want to be rude." "Yeah, I appreciate that." She goes, "It does happen kind of often,
Right.
but so
especially Gene Simmons is a huge star,
Right.
so it's hard not to.
So 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 they're talking about it for a few minutes. Eventually, sure enough, Gene just all of a sudden just goes, "Okay, that's enough." Richie just, "Thank you, bye bye," and he bolted. He bolted.
Oh, I would have just fucking for a second and then been like, all right, I just want I have this saying that I often use for anything that's like a social grace, which that I've ignored and I need to acknowledge. I'd be like, and people usually be, oh no, it's okay. I go, the phantom hand of one of my aunts would smack me in the back of the head if I did not come and make up for this.
Yeah, right.
Like because that's like you just hey. Say thank you. Like how many times when you were a kid did you get the fucking whack in the back of the head and be like, thank you?
Right. But speaking of leaving after number 11. Speaking of ditching early, my night last night, I wanted to.
Oh yeah. Because I saw this and
the post.
Yes, yeah.
I wanted to thank Chris Thomas. Chris, you guys
being hot.
Oh God,
that's my thank you. Anyway, go on.
I saw her the other day because she had to give me the scholarship to present. I presented her brother Brian, who passed away back in 2014. One of my best friends. So they've been Chris's family. They've been doing it every year at our old high school, Hicksville, where they give a scholarship, and they always give it to. Brian was not. He was not your perfect student, but everybody remembered him because he was a larger-than-life guy, and he worked hard. He may not have been a great student, but he worked hard, passionate guy, and had a great life. Was a guard at the Nassau County Jail, was very involved in the fire department, Boy Scouts, and Wounded Warriors. He got involved in a lot of charities. Just a great guy, larger-than-life guy, very funny. So the family does this scholarship every year. This year they asked me to go present it, and I was thrilled. And it just happened. So yesterday was the presentation. It was Wednesday. She contacted me. We want to do this. I was like, oh, that'd be great. But I had to meet her to go get it. So we met up. And speaking of being hot, I forget what we were talking about, but she pulled up her pants leg, show me something on her leg. I forget what we were talking about. But I stopped to go, I don't care what we're talking about right now. I said, thank you for showing me your leg. Oh, my God, she's so hot. So...
Unfortunately, coming from you, it just is like a creepy fetish thing.
Well, anybody with a leg is hot to me.
Oh,
yeah.
What a hot leg!
What a leg! I love to snap that off and put it on. So I go last night to this thing, and I had no idea what to expect. I've given out, I was a special ed PTA president for 5 years down in Wantor. Wantor was like home to me, because I was so involved in the school, and I knew everybody, so I knew where to go, who to talk to, what to do, and this was, a different school. So, right. And I'm not involved in Hicksville High School. So I didn't know who to talk to. I didn't know what was going on.
Right.
So I'm just kind of I got there about a half hour early, and I'm just walking around, and I don't see anybody I know or anybody that could be involved. So I'm just kind of hanging out in the lobby. I go into the auditorium, and there's really nobody there either. Just a handful of people are sitting. So I go back out into the lobby. Sure enough, I see down the hallway a table, and I see people signing. I'm like, okay, that's where the benefactors. So I go down there. Sure enough, there's a list. There's cards with your names on it. I was like, oh, and I see mine. I'm like, okay, perfect. I go and sign in. Now, there's a bunch of people there. And, they're all talking. They're all hanging out. Nobody is like, giving out instructions. Nobody's saying, oh, I saw you sign in, nothing. So I just assumed that's all you had to do. Sign in to let them know you're there. You take your name tag. So now I go into the auditorium. And I'm sitting there. And the event starts. They bring out a band of four. They're all playing like violins or, the cellos, whatever. And they're playing.
Chamber music.
Sure. Sure enough, the two sides, the two aisles into this auditorium, here comes the procession. So at first I recognize the principal. I've met him in the past. The superintendent is actually my old science teacher, Miss Litzman, who I absolutely adored. So so I'm just assuming it's all like school board, principals, assistant principals, department heads. But then I start to realize that they all have name tags like me. And I'm looking at and they're all going on stage. There's chair. I saw the chairs on stage. I assumed those chairs were for the students that are winning.
Right.
They're all going on the stage. I'm like, what the fuck? Now the students are coming in, but they have reserved seats in the front of the auditorium seats. So I see some lady. She's holding the door, letting them all in. and she's got a program, so I'm assuming she was somebody that is involved. So I go right up to her. I go, excuse me. I said, are you a part of this? She goes, yeah. I go, if you're a benefactor, presenting a scholarship, are you supposed to be on that stage? She goes, yeah. I was like, okay, thanks. And I just run, and the students are all sitting down, and I just start. I'm now the only one going up the stage, and of course it takes me forever because I can't go foot over foot. So I'm like, burp, 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 burp. And I see the principal's just kind of. I mean, the kids are still sitting down, so it's not like he was waiting to start. But so I just looked at him. I went, sorry. He goes, no worries. All right, cool. So I sit down. But to me, it just
should have made it about you didn't make any accommodations for me.
You're right.
Turn it around. It's a little judo.
Where's the stairmaster that just brings me? Oh, whatever it's called. But to me, it was just so perfect of the type of students that Brian and myself were. Man. We worked hard if we were interested, but we were cut ups. We were we didn't have good grades. I think a little bit more so for him. He struggled a little bit, and had to get some extra services and whatnot. So and that's the great thing about this scholarship. That's who they give the scholarship to every year, not the grade A student who thrives and everything. They go for the ones that are trying and may come up a little short sometimes. So I thought this was really cool. So honored to be a part of it for so many reasons. But of course, so now I sit down on the stage and I'm like, I can't believe Chris didn't tell me we sit on the freaking stage. In Wanto, where I used to do it, they used to just, you're signed in, so they know that you're there. You sit anywhere, and then they announce you. You walk up. And
see, this is how my anxiety is different from your anxiety.
Yeah,
I would sign in, and I would immediately start looking for anybody who has anything to do with it to be like, where am I supposed to be?
That's my point. I'm not blaming them. I'm blaming me because that's what I should have done.
Absolutely, but
I just assumed we're done.
I wouldn't have been able to walk into the thing because
yeah.
I'd be like, is this even the door I'm supposed to walk into?
But the thing is, it never even occurred to me. See, so Wantor, you just were at the time when I was involved, you just signed in so that they know you're there. You go sit anywhere, and then when they call you, you go up to the mic. You give a short speech of what organization you represent and why you're giving the scholarship out, and you announce the person's name. You take a picture on the stage, and that's it. I just assumed that's how it was done everywhere. I had no idea. So my first thing on the stage, I'm like, I can't believe I'm sitting on the stage. I'm facing out. And my first thought was, now I can't duck out when I'm done.
That's right.
I'm like, I can't because, and I look at the program. It's 150 kids that are getting scholarships. Now, I know in Massapequa, when I was living with Sally, they used to break it up into 2 nights.
Right.
Wanto didn't. And Hicksville was not last night. So I'm looking at this. And, of course, the kid – and they're going in alphabetical order. They call the kid comes up, and then they announce every scholarship that kid is getting.
Right.
So they only have to come up once, which is a good idea.
No, that is a good
But the kid that I'm getting, her last name started with B. So I'm right there on the first page, and I'm like, there's 8 pages of this. I'm like, oh, my goodness, I can't leave.
I would prefer it to be earlier, though, because you just get it over with and then just sit there and you could zone out.
But now I'm starting to panic a little bit because I'm thinking, I never wrote a speech. Like, what am I going to say? So as I'm sitting there, I'm thinking, I don't have time. So the whole time, I'm just sitting there thinking, what if I say this and I'd say that? But then they start giving out, because, of course, there were speeches first. So I'm doing all that in my head. So,
you're getting some calls.
Yeah, calls are coming in. I don't know what's going on. So, so when they start giving out the awards, nobody's giving speeches. They're just calling up Andy Plagainos. Andy won this award, this award, this award. And they hand it out. And I'm like, oh, all right, thank God. And then there are probably about 5 kids in, because each time the kid came up, the person who's given the scholarship comes up, and the principal. So the kid comes up one side of the stage, principal's on the other, and they walk across, boom.
Shake and take.
And then, they shake, but the take, they're all standing there. Sure enough, they're about maybe 3, 4 kids in, maybe 5. And the principal even says, he goes, we're posing for pictures, but there's no photographer. So you see parents are getting up and stuff, but I guess Hicksville, I don't know if it was an oversight or what, but there's no professional photographer coming up to take a picture.
District photographer kind of thing.
So I'm like, oh, that's weird.
That is weird.
So now it comes.
Fucking Hicksville.
It comes to me. And
fucking Hicks.
It's true. And I'm sitting on the back of the stage. They get to me, and now so I'm sitting stage right. The principal is the front of stage left. I'm all the way in the back, probably like 8 rows back, and the superintendent is in the front. Now, I last saw the superintendent last year when I had to give that speech for that teacher, and Billy Joel was there, the whole works. And that was the first time I saw my old teacher in years. I acknowledged her when I joked around with her on the mic. So when they say my name and I get up, I see her immediately go, and I see she's looking for me, and I had a crush on her when I was a kid, so I was like, this is awesome. So So as I'm walking to where I have to go, I actually just stopped. I go, hi, Miss Lisman. She goes, oh, hi, Tony. I'm like, oh. So I keep going. So the girl comes up. She gets her award, and we do the same thing. We now, like, all arm in arm, we're smiling to take a picture for nobody. So the principal says, oh, we're doing it again. There's no photographer. So I pull my phone out, and I take a selfie. The place starts cracking up. I'm like, oh, this is cool. So I go back. I don't know. I have no idea why they did this. So they're about halfway through, and I'm actually like every few minutes just looking at the page to see like where are we, how many more pages.
Right. Oh God, yeah.
And there were a few people sitting there, a few faces I recognize, a few people looking. I'm like, oh. And even as I'm looking out at the crowd, I see like, but they were a little far off. So I'm like, oh, I think that's so and so back there. Oh, hey, look at that. But I'm still thinking, this still isn't enough to keep me here. Like I want to get out of here. But I don't know why they did it. All of a sudden, about halfway through, they switched it where the principal came over stage right, and now the students are entering stage left and they're coming up. But this was perfect because now when they're posing for the pictures, like they're all blocking me from the audience. Nobody can see me.
Right.
So I realized, I'm like, oh, I can make an exit
Start
now.
crawling out like Blues Brothers.
Yeah.
I used to be a bouncer here back in the day.
Right.
There's a trap door behind your
Exactly.
drummer's
exactly.
stand.
So I start looking around like, all right, where can I go? What can I do? And I'm sitting on the end of the row. I'm like, oh, this is perfect. I just duck. But then, sure enough, so I start looking. I'm like, oh, that's the old backstage, for the shows, because we're on stage. Mm-hmm. So I get like this totally distracted. I'm just looking out like, oh yeah, I remember back here, hanging out back here, and how different it looks now. Like 5 minutes on, I'm like, oh, I'm supposed to be leaving. So sure enough, so now I'm waiting for a good opportunity where they're taking a picture. I'm totally blocked. Sure enough, I see it. I'm like, phoom, I get up. There's 2 teachers. I don't know who they are, but they're back there. And sure enough, they're like, I just went, sorry. And I just walked right past them.
The
like,
leg thing.
Yeah, right. I didn't care.
I would use that every fucking time.
No need. These guys, they see me right now. They will not know that I'm the guy from last night. That's how insignificant I'm telling you. So I just, boom, done, out. I was like relieved. I'm like, I did what I got to do. It was fun. But the weird part, and I got more. There was a weird ending to the story,
Mm-hmm.
but that was my post this morning. It was very strange. It's always strange for me when I go back there.
All right, I didn't read the whole fucking post.
Well, that's why I'm telling you.
Come the fuck on.
So I don't go back to that high school often. So when I do go back, I get very nostalgic in my head. But then it was weird because I didn't even recognize this one girl who was giving out a scholarship in the name of her daughter. It was a girl that my brother graduated with. I hadn't seen her since high school.
Right.
She hung out with my brother a little bit. So I'm like, oh, holy crap. Like, turns out she lost a daughter to leukemia. I'm sitting there on the stage. I'm texting my brother, have you seen so-and-so? And I actually snuck a picture. I go, is that her? He goes, yeah, I think that's her. I'm like, she lose a kid? He goes, yeah, I had a leukemia some years back. I'm like, oh, that's awful. So that made me feel weird.
Yeah, and then you were texting and fucking taking pictures of her? Yeah, I'll tell you why, Tony, because it is fucking weird and like a little creepy. But go on, please.
So, and then to see in the, like a lot of memorial scholarships, like an old teacher of mine who I loved, actually a few teachers. I'm like, that's weird to see. Just being back there, looking back and seeing the backstage area where I used to, this was my home.
But that enriches everything.
It does.
I'm a very huge fan of stuff like that.
But then also the reason I'm there, so it makes me think about my friend. So that made me kind of sad because I miss him terribly, and I know you've been through that too. It's a hard thing.
No, it never goes away.
Right. And this year will be 9 years already since he passed, and I just can't believe that. How long since your friend?
14 years.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
It's crazy. And then there was another scholarship in the name of another guy that I was in my class who died in a car accident during our junior year. And I'll be honest, I haven't thought about him in a long time, and I feel bad about that. But I see his name in the program. I'm like, oh, son of a bitch.
Yeah.
So it was kind of like just a strange. Like I was happy to be there, honored for the reason to be there, But still, it just made me think. I just actually earlier this week we lost another classmate of mine from my class. We're in the 20s. The amount of people that we've lost just from my class. But you go like a year or two ahead of me, a year or two behind me. There's a lot of freaking people. I know I'm getting old, but I just don't think I'm that old. That so many
40 years before you, almost all of them are dead.
Well, yes.
Very close.
Yeah,
they may all be dead. I got to be honest.
But
I haven't checked recently.
But that's my point, though. I don't feel like we're not old enough to have lost that many.
I guess I just think of death as like an incredibly random kind of thing.
Oh, it is, absolutely.
So
but it's still weird to think about.
And I will tell, like, probably, and especially in situations like that.
Yeah.
I agree that because what happens is it becomes like a focal, like everything, all of it.
Yeah.
Kind of just matches at this moment, and it can overwhelm you.
Oh, sure.
Emotionally.
I won't say I was overwhelmed, but it was definitely thoughts that were going through my head. So, and again, I think I was working out a nice balance to enjoy the good parts.
Well, you were
the good
overwhelmed
memories.
because you weren't able to escape right away.
Well, yeah, that's true. So, all right, so I leave, and this is the end of my story. I know we got to go.
Oh.
So I leave, and at this point, it was like 9:30 at night. I hadn't eaten dinner. I was freaking starving. So I leave the high school, and just walking distance from the high school is a Smash Burger. So I'm like, screw it, and I'm just gonna run to Smash. What?
No, it's just because like the modern slang, like that was like the dumbest thing to ever name that.
Oh, the restaurant Smash
Burger.
Yeah, it's kind
no,
of
I Smash Burger there.
Yeah, I don't really get it. So I go, I place my order. So while I'm waiting for the food to come, I decide to go to the bathroom, right? And it's a one person. There's a men's room and a woman's room, but it's only one person at a time. So the door was locked. So I just I'm waiting. I hear the door unlock, and the door opens, and it's a woman coming out of the men's bathroom.
Okay.
Well, that's the thing. That's okay, and I really don't care. But in this day and age, it still caught me by surprise, though. So when she came out, we made eye contact, and I did. I went, oh.
I would have winked.
Well, right. And as soon as I said, oh, like immediately I'm in my...
You need matches?
But that's the thing. Like in my head, I'm like, even before I was done saying, oh, like already I'm saying to myself, stop that. Like
right.
you shouldn't act that. But it was a little bit of a reminder, again, of I'm getting older. Because I'm sure the guys in their 20s now, like they probably don't blink an eye to that.
Right.
But to me, it was, oh. And she did. She gave me like a little. I'm like, okay. I was in the bathroom doing my thing, and just in my head, I'm thinking like, all right, well, she didn't. She was dressed like a woman. She had makeup on. Like I'm trying to like rationale, and I'm like, and I did. I gave up. I'm like, just finish peeing, get your burger, and shut the fuck up.
I don't know. Did you see her when you came back out?
Actually, I don't recall seeing her when I came out.
It's too bad, because my favorite thing to say to anybody who comes out of a bathroom that I then go into, if I happen to, because there's some awkward moments.
Oh yeah,
in life that'll bring you. I'll be like, man, that seat was still really warm.
Man,
my
that
favorite
smell
thing.
was ridiculous.
Well, I never want to do the smell. It's just that the seat, because it's like a step back from like, oh, you sat down too.
right.
like there's just that there's other things like what like did you sit and I didn't sit down. But one of my favorite things to say at the mic is I'll come out of the bathroom and I go, guys, the rim on the urinal smells like cocaine.
Does cocaine have a smell?
Yeah.
Does it?
Yeah.
I have no
but
idea.
it's not like it's not like weed has a very strong smell. Like
sure.
Mark
Riccadonna told us.
And it's funny because I didn't want to like interrupt with my own story, but like the downstairs bathroom, that's my bathroom.
Right.
That's where I keep whatever weed and whatever. And my wife's always like, it stinks down there. I'm like, all right, I'll put it out. No, you shouldn't have to put it outside. They need to learn that this is modern times. And I'm like, okay, but it stinks. I'm like,
all right, I'll buy a spray. Vicky, the recipient thought that they got their award from Billy Joel.
And then they were really disappointed when it wasn't.
They're disappointed no matter what when I'm involved. Vicky was actually there last year when I gave the speech in where I opened for Billy Joel, where I was the...
Yeah, you opened for Billy Joel. There's a lot of people that would open for Billy Joel.
Yeah.
Present themselves to him.
All right, with that, we're out of here. No Donversations tonight. Don is getting ready for the big day, which is this Tuesday.
Nice.
So that's it. I'm going to try. I'm not sure if I'm going to do Green Room tomorrow without Don. I might, because Megan Hanley is here. I would love to get some more time with Megan.
Yeah, you
no,
would.
she really, seriously, she's just one of my
seems
favorite
really
comedians.
cool.
She's a lot of fun,
Yeah.
and I'd like to support. And I think who else is? I don't know who else. I'm not. Oh, that's in the giggle room. So Vic would be in the big room. Okay, because I don't know the comedians that she's on with. It's all city comedians.
Right.
So when I don't know anybody, I'm always not sure if I should do it or not because it could go.
Do you know who's hosting for Vic?
I have no idea who's here with Vic. No clue.
I'm gonna put money on Jay.
Jay's been here a lot, so that would be cool if it was.
That would be a good match.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you're right. It would be. So yeah, so if we do a Green Room show, I will post it and let you know. But I have a feeling we won't be. So that's it for us until Monday. I have no guests lined up for next week yet. That's bad. Well, Tuesday I won't. Tuesday I'm not doing the show. I got to tell Hugh because we got the big day for Don. But yeah, so we'll see you Monday. I'll probably get Jules or somebody. All right, so enjoy your weekend. Enjoy the rest of your Friday. Thank you, pal. Anything to promote this weekend?
No, nothing. Oh, actually, Sunday I'll be at Alibi in Farmingdale for James Raniolo's joint.
Very nice. All right, so I know we're running a little late, but I'm going to play all the videos for Don. Yeah, you know what? I'm going to play them all. I was saving one for Monday, but you know what? I'm going to play them all now. And yeah, wait till you see the Bosey one. It is freaking scary. Okay, so I believe it starts right here. All right, everybody enjoy yourselves. We'll see you later.
Wait, who's Don Sill? Oh, he's that guy from the Gov's Radio, Donversations, yeah. And how the hell did he land a hot piece of ass like Wendy? Can somebody explain this to me? On a serious note, you idiots, I love you both so much. Congratulations, and I can't wait until you're legally bound to each other so she can legally punch you in the face when you don't act right. Oh, grrr. I love you both. Have a great wedding. And that's all I got.
Hey, Don, good luck. I'm really pulling for you.
So I just found out Don Sill's getting married. I can't believe somebody would actually marry that guy. But I've thought about it. He's marrying that girl, Sally. Wait, Sally's Walker's girl. Or was his girl? Wendy! I knew it. I was just messing with you. Wendy is a smart girl because she figures she'll never, ever have to take out the garbage ever again. She'll never have to kill a bug. And she'll definitely never, ever have to plunge into the toilet for the rest of her life. So she did good. But all kidding aside, guys, I want to wish you guys a lifetime of happiness like me and my hubby, Bobby. I hope you have a great life together. Enjoy your wedding day. And I hope to see you soon.
All right. Hey, man, I'm walking through the tunnel of love. Speaking of tunnels of love, I want to wish a good friend of mine, a very good friend of mine, Don, and his fiancée, Wendy. Congratulations. Beautiful couple, great friends, great people. And without them, who knows where I'd be. I'd be pushing shopping carts over there at the ShopRite. Don's the man, man. Don, congratulations. I couldn't be happier for you. And I heard you got yourselves a good DJ.
What is this? This is a screenplay, Millie. It's a script that the tramp said he wrote for Chiller. But he wrote it about me.
About you?
Oh, hello. Yeah, congratulations, Wendy and Don, on your wedding. Kind of odd that you found me in this moment, but Don, if it doesn't work out, I'll always be your tramp.
What are we doing here? What's this bullshit? It's Don Sill. You know, Don Sill, the guy that looks like Mark?
Oh, the better-looking Riccadonna.
That's the one.
Oh, what about him?
He's getting married.
He's getting married.
Yeah, soon. Tuesday the 13th.
What? He's getting married on a Tuesday?
Getting married on a Tuesday.
God, he's almost as cheap as Riccadonna.
Well, how did it go,
What?
Richie? That you saved money on the chicken?
Yeah, I have a bit about that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I go Friday,
the Sil
but
bit?
I say Friday wedding, which Tuesday wedding. I go, everybody take a half a day from work so we can save $1.99 on a plate of chicken. But in this case, I mean, my God, are they gonna? They get married on a Tuesday?
Yeah.
And where are they having the what do you call it? What's the word?
The wedding?
No, the reception at like KFC.
No, it's at Wimpy Burgers.
I mean, why a Tuesday?
It's the actual date is the day they met or the day they went on the first date,
Oh,
something
that's
like that.
such crap. First of all, they're not young, right? So, like, if they were like 20 and we met, okay, you go, all right. But Don's like 72 or something, isn't he?
73 to be exact. Yeah.
Yeah, she's young. And way too good looking for him.
Yeah, maybe he's got 12 inches. I'm not really sure.
I don't know. We know he doesn't have $12 or he'd be getting married on a Saturday. Does she have a job? Because he doesn't.
Yeah, she does well.
Yeah, I hope so. Because he works for Riccadonna.
Don't we all?
So, Mark, are you giving her away or anything? Or
I'll be there to give her
so
away.
let me get this straight.
I'm officiating.
Are you really?
I am.
And so we're really here paying homage to a guy who didn't invite us to his wedding. That's what you're doing.
I think he did invite Mark.
I was invited.
He just didn't invite you.
He didn't invite you. You're an asshole.
You know who he did invite? He invited Bosie.
Did he really? Wow. Well, I mean, Bosie was the star of his TV show.
Keegan's going.
Is Keegan going?
Maybe Keegan? Yeah.
Yes.
No, I just made that up.
Yeah.
I made that up to piss you
Keegan's
off.
going, but not Hirsch.
Exactly.
Hirsch is pissed. You know what?
Richie, your opening act is invited. You're not.
Yeah, Keegan. Where is the wedding going to be?
I don't even remember off the top of my head. It's out east somewhere.
Wait, don't you need to know, Tony?
I have it at home. I don't.
We're hoping Tony shows up.
You see them at the wedding out east going, where the hell's Tony?